endurance, we also have data retention. You store data, but will the data stay in the device or not? Okay, that is another aspect of it, because electrons might just leak from the floating gate. So data retention is another aspect. In our devices, we have a refresh mechanism where automatically, we just scan all the blocks and ensure that all the cells are in their optimal condition. So that is done automatically in the device. Reliability is done by error checking. So we have all kinds of error checking code that works in our devices, like BCH, LDPC, which ensures that the data is reliable each time you read it out. Temperature range, high temperature affects flash. So there will be a temperature specification for every device, and so you should operate within those temperature specs only. Security, so you can do password protection on the device. You can also write protect a device in blocks or in multiples of blocks. That is definitely possible. And there are other special features that we have inbuilt into the device. For example, you want to lock a card to a host and ensure it does not work with any other host. You can have a password protection inbuilt. And also you can monitor the health of the device in real time. Okay, so you can read out the entire parameters of the device and know how much of flash life is left in it. Finally, the price and availability. Unfortunately, a lot of consumers actually consider price and availability as the topmost criteria, but that is not how we should be viewing it, because these devices, we need to see the longevity and the reliability of the device more. So this is our portfolio. So we have commercial, industrial. So industrial has higher temperature capabilities. They come with extended roadmaps, 3-year roadmaps, 5-year roadmaps, and the amount of endurance that you get on these devices are much higher. You could go with auto grade if you need AEC qualification. And finally, we have video buffer. That is, if you're streaming high definition videos, you'll need very high amount of endurance on it. We call these devices edge storage because it may not be practical. You store some data and then send it wirelessly over LTE onto some other cloud service, do analytics and send it back. What if you want to do real-time analytics? You need more storage on the device itself. So that is why we call them edge storage, where you can have high capacity storage on the device like the drone, and you can do all the analytics on the device itself. So these are all the features, the additional features that is supported in a device, which is kind of our USP, like health status, power immunity. If there are power fluctuations, we have ways we can monitor the voltage and take action so that the data is not corrupted. So it's more important to not write data than to corrupt the data. That is the criteria when you store data. Read, refresh, I touched upon. Programmable string, you can store unique strings into the device. So each time you plug the device, read out the string, it reads out the name of your device, so okay, this is your device. Host lock, and finally secure FFU. If you want to upgrade the firmware of the device remotely over the air, that is also possible in a very secure fashion. So finally, this is the last slide. The key takeaways are the trends are accelerating the growth of storage. So definitely we are making high dense devices. So current technology is on 2D NAND, that is 2-dimensional planar NAND. We are moving to 3D NAND, that is 3-dimensional, and which means you'll have more density into a given space of the flash device. The storage also impacts your BOM cost. So we are trying to make them as cheap as possible. And then we have different verticals of devices, like I mentioned, industrial, automotive, connected home, so you can pick the one that fits perfectly into your requirement. And then, yes, you need to pick the right one. So when you pick the flash device, come to us. We can help you decide what is the right fit for your application, and then we can definitely help you out there. So that's the end of my slide. I can take any questions if there are any.
Thank you, Leo. So any audience, any questions for Leo or SanDisk? They also have a table there where they have some of the demos available.
Yes, so we have.
So you can have a look, and if you have questions, you can always ask him offline. Thank you. And on behalf of IEEE Computer Society, let me thank Leo and SanDisk for a wonderful talk.
Okay.
So now we break for tea, coffee break. We'll be back in 10 minutes. This will be followed by a poster demo session right across this hall. Thank you.
Kindly request you to start coming back to the main hall. To go there and chase them back, so I'll do that.